What looked like the last of the Gene Hawkes ring was herded together, and I had the whole of that narcotics cargo transferred to my boat. And then we headed back. The members of the ring would be taken in to be jailed, but I cut off from the others, taking a course directly into customs to bring in those narcotics, and very likely, Gene Hawkes herself.
Get back.
What's the idea, Princess? Put that gun down.
Make for a point a mile above Conover Beacon.
She's out of her mind.
Did you hear what I said?
Head for shore, a mile above Conover Beacon. Never heard of Gene Hawkes, Mrs. Grant?
Gene Hawkes?
The name that took those narcotics around the world ever since North China. Never heard of it?
No.
Amazing. Could be our baby-faced princess.
Nearly 20 years old.
A Chinese girl for the honor and glory of Japan.
My father is Attorney General of occupied Manchuria.
The tree was bent young, wasn't it?
Tell him to go faster.
The lady says speed up. Well, what are you going to do? Get this stuff ashore, huh? Where the rest of your gang is waiting. And to make sure you get away, you'd have to kill the 4 people on this boat.
That's insane.
Gene Hawkes would do that without batting an eye. And you had no idea, Mrs. Grant. Didn't know who I was or what happened at Bender Shaw's until I told you. Didn't know your husband was hired by Japan to grow narcotics. And that you've been chaperoning Gene Hawkes ever since Pan Yin. You, the respectable widow of an American killed by Japanese bombs. Didn't know that, huh? Or maybe that isn't how he died at all. Maybe he knew too much. And wasn't a fanatic he should have been.
He wasn't quite.
You murdered him.
No, you did. With notions of helping China and asking questions. He was told to get rid of you.
But couldn't bring himself to do it, huh? Still had a little feeling for his wife. That weakness licked him, didn't it? That's the weakness that licked me, too. The feeling I had for a frightened, helpless little girl. I was a sucker for that, wasn't I? Your side trades in that kind of thing. Decent human feeling. No use for it yourself, except to fake it. But I've been learning fast, Princess, and I learned that lesson just in time. In fact, I had an idea who you were when you got in this boat. You see, after the accident happened, Mrs. Grant was standing by my bed. But not the warm little girl who loved me so much. Where was she? At the stern, watching gulls, I found out a little later. She must have heard about it the same time Mrs. Grant did. What made her so late in coming to find me? That's where I began to learn. I thought back to how a notebook could have been taken out of my pocket in the temple back in Shanghai. And those lines of suffering in that artist's sketch of a young girl could be the madness of a grown woman. I wasn't sure yet about you or Mrs. Grant. So the next step was that note to Randstad. When he didn't call Mrs. Grant and killed himself, that could mean that you opened the note on the way, told Randstad he'd failed, and that his services were no longer required. See what I mean, Princess? You can't fake real feelings. Not for long. They're the exclusive property of real human beings. Put down that gun.
Come and take it, Mr. Brent.
Tie up that mess of garbage. Notify Coast Guard. A mile above Conover Beacon. That'll be the end of this trail.